Hello everyone, Ani Msoul. This is Venus Callida, and today I wanted to honor Orange Shirt Day, which is happening here in Canada today. It has to do with recognizing entire cultures of First Nations people that were under fire through government initiatives of assimilation to erase a culture's entire knowledge of self, their language, their words, their names, their looks, their traditions, everything through residential school systems. You can do a lot of research, and I can add some links into my episode description later today, but I just wanted to make sure I started my day with acknowledging Orange Shirt Day. I am comforted to know that my own family wasn't on this side of the ocean when this ugly part of our history here in Canada was happening. Unfortunately, they were going through their own awful assaults during occupation in World War II on the other side of the ocean. But I do also understand that to be on this side of the world now, our families came here, many more families will come here in the future because this is a place of peace now. And we're enjoying that peace here on a land that was first, always, and still is inhabited by the First Nations people, like the Cree and the Ojibwe, all sorts of different kinds of Cree groups, Swampy Cree, Plains Cree, the Inuit who are here. And from the Inuit that I've lived with in Coral Harbor have told me they acknowledge that they weren't even the first ones here. They immigrated here, although many hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, before the Europeans started fighting over usurping this place. I guess I'm saying too much and I don't want to get too political, but I do understand that concept that if we come here now, we have to understand and acknowledge we're part of the treaty people. That concept is very interesting to me because there were treaties, some still not honored, others, well, they've been settled, others are still in court being fought over right now. I'm glad to say that in my times traveling across Canada, I've lived in many First Nations reserves, also First Nations communities that are not reserves, and they govern themselves. And they have mayors or chiefs. And I've been able to see how so many different groups live. And every time Orange Shirt Day happens, I just want to shout out to all of there's young adults out there who were my very first students, and there are children now who are my students now that I teach still with some of the things I learned that work best for the First Nations children all around Canada. Shout out to all the Ojibwe, the Cree, the Ojibwe, the Dene, all of the groups, the Haudenosaunee, or you guys know them as Mohawk, and I hope I'm not saying your names wrong. The one that, and there's so many more that I haven't met, but so many groups, so many communities out there that have been kind to me, given me friendship and a home as I traveled to be employed. And my grandfather also traveled and worked side by side, working on the Dryden Dam and other things that built up the infrastructure to our countries side by side with Cree, Mohawk, Ojibwe, Ojibwe, all of that, and Métis groups out there that I've met. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you're all doing great, and I wish you all well. And I'm most proud of that I have been a part of the community in Garonyanuha and Ganwage, next to Montreal over there, helping with the reinculturation for students to graduate bilingual out of one of the buildings that used to be a residential school. Now they're taking back and putting back together their culture and their language, their names and their words, and it's just so fascinating that this is happening, and it's a triumph. So I wish everybody peace. I am so grateful to be in a peaceful country. My grandfather's wish, let no one's child die in war, and wishes that I've seen by the Anishinaabe and other groups going up through Montreal and following the Rouge River and the Montreal River. There are communities out there, like in Shawville, which have wishes between the European and the First Nation groups. Let all of our children grow up in peace and harmony with each other. May all our children love each other. And that's a hope I hope goes through all of the future. Well, that's enough from me. This day is about other people. So I acknowledge Orange Shirt Day, and I wish the very best in healing to the generations of the survivors and their families to have a peaceful, happy, and fruitful future. Take care, everybody.